Kongversation. Crooked Hillary will make bad deals in favor of the alien reptoids. The system is rigged, folks. We've got to get smart. Sad.
Hello and welcome to the Kongversation. I'm Hyle. Also, this week I'm joined by Nick Prol.
Ahoy!
Ahoy! That's also piratey. Yes, it is Talk Like a Pirate Day 2016. As per tradition, the Kongversation is doing an episode for Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Like we do.
Well, you've never done this before, Nick. This is the first Talk Like a Pirate Day episode I've had anybody but Chad on.
I'm a pirate virgin.
Well, you know, we know they like to rape and pillage, so...
Some of us, not all pirates.
Not all pirates. That's right. The pirates in Sea of Thieves, I should point out, yes, this is going to be a Sea of Thieves episode. If you couldn't tell, we're not going to be discussing the finer intricacies of the batship crazy on this episode. Maybe next year. Maybe on next year's Talk Like a Pirate Day episode. But considering we have a full pirate game coming out perhaps next year, we don't actually have a concrete release date yet, but it's just apropos to do a Sea of Thieves themed Talk Like a Pirate Day episode.
Absolutely.
You know, oddly enough, you know, it's funny looking back at the Kongversation when we started this show in 2013. You know, we were doing a Talk Like a Pirate Day episode from season 1. Sea of Thieves wasn't announced till, you know, we were in our third season. So
you're ahead of the curve.
Ahead of the what would be the nautical equivalent of curbs?
The ahead of the longitude. I don't know.
I don't think that's right.
Probably
right
not at all.
You are a pirate virgin. But I was going to say the pirates in Sea of Thieves are far more family friendly. I don't want to say they're family friendly because they still have an edge to them, but they're more of the Johnny Depp mold rather than the actual villainous.
So they beat their wives?
Oh, that's right. I scratched that reference out. No, I mean they like funny hats.
Ah, yes.
And they like working with Tim Burton.
Can I cancel my pre-order yet? Or...
You can't pre-order Sea of Thieves yet.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And anyway, no, but they're more like I mean they're villains, they're thieves, but there's also this sense of fun and anti-hero-esque shenanigans.
Lovable scallywags.
So there is no rape and pillaging as far as I know. But
it might not have been revealed yet. I mean,
on this episode, what we're going to be doing is blindly speculating about Sea of Thieves. You know, the DK Vine terminology for this, vintage DK Vine terminology has always been a speculation center. That was what we called our pages back in the early days when we didn't know anything about a game, but we wanted to post blind fan theories about said game, and they would always be wrong because we were terrible back then.
Well, in this case, our speculation center, instead of a crow's nest, it will be a who knows nest.
That's right. Nice job with the rhyming, Nick.
I'm a rhyme fiend.
You are. I don't want to get you angry, or else we'd be engaged in some epic,
rap battle.
Yeah. I don't need a diss song done in my name.
Nothing's more authentic than two white guys rap battling.
You know, I mean, Eminem was a great rapper. He still is a great rapper, I guess. Then there's
Vanilla Ice. Tom Hanks' son. Shout out to the Hanksgiving podcast.
Oh, really? Colin Hanks?
Not Colin. The lesser spoken about Hanks.
Okay. I did not know that. There's the Beastie Boys.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Dose 1.
Beastie Boy number 3, or I don't know. So anyway, what were we talking about? Rap battles?
Tom Hanks. Oh,
Tom Hanks. No, piracy.
Piracy.
Yeah. So anyway, speculation centers. We were terrible with them back in the day, but I like to think in the last 17 years. Jesus Christ. We've learned a thing or two about how to, again, read the tea leaves, another phrase we like to use, and see what's coming. So that being said, obviously, I have a bit of a leg up on Sea of Thieves.
A peg leg up.
Peg leg. That's right. I mean, I may know a little bit more than the common man. So in full interest of covering my ass, let me read this disclaimer I prepared before we do this episode. All right.
Got a parrot in your throat there?
All right. I, Hyle Russell, am here to speculate about the upcoming electronic entertainment game Sea of Thieves, drawing only from my years of experience as a fan of Rare Limited and its properties. Nothing I say during the course of this digital media file, most commonly listened to on portable pod devices, should be taken as me having explicit knowledge about the game or the intent of the developers. Anything confidential that I learned from my time playing the stated electronic entertainment game Sea of Thieves earlier this year will remain so. Furthermore, should I decline to comment on any topic of conversation that's broached during this Kongversation, it should not be viewed as an implicit admission of knowledge. More than likely, the question or statement was probably just shit that I chose to ignore out of spite for my co-host, one Nicholas Prol. Any further inquiries or concerns should be sent to my lawyer, Bobo Friend Esquire.
Guilty.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
So there you go. I don't want to I'm actually worried about upsetting Rare because whatever. I'm more afraid about upsetting people on the DK Vine staff who think that I am who get nervous about me talking about Sea of Thieves.
You played what? How many minutes would you say you played of the game?
Between my time at Twycross and at E3.
Both, yeah.
I would say probably totally near 5 hours at this point.
Okay, that's more than most of the population, so...
Yeah, I mean, outside of everybody at Rare and the people who were with us in the trip to Twycross...
Listen, you love Rare, I love Rare, they're part of our lifeblood, but we're not, like, biased assholes. I'm sure there are Rare games that you have criticized on this very podcast, and Rare games that you have loved on this podcast, so... I think with those 5 hours under your nautical belt, who better to speculate on this game?
Well, but my point is, though, I don't want people to think that anything I talk about is actually something I saw in the game or that I'm trying to give people clues. I don't.
So we shouldn't talk about the second boss who's like a flying pig monster?
Yeah. We can't reveal that Whizpig is in the game.
Oh, that was Whizpig? It looked a little different to me. I mean, it had breasts and... wings.
Now, Nick, I haven't looked at any of your art recently, but I don't need to have you hallucinating that your weird porcine erotica is actually in these games.
I'm just going off of the secret photo you took of your demo with all the nudity in it.
Oh, that was just the time I was at the pig farm. When I was feeling randy, and I decided. Anyway, so let's get to it. Now, Nick.
Yes.
I've talked about Sea of Thieves quite a bit on this show already.
Yeah.
You have not.
I haven't. A little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Well, I mean, when I had... Yeah, maybe a little bit. But when I had you on, usually we talk about Mr. Pants or Mr. Pants.
Yeah, or with that other guy, Mr. Pants.
Or we read, again, erotica. So it's not something that's really come up between all of the Pants and erotica. So what are your impressions of Sea of Thieves thus far? And it should be pointed out, and again, full journalistic disclosure, that you do own a Sea of Thieves pin. This
is true.
From Rare. So
I don't know if I have legal ownership of it, but it is in my possession.
It is in your possession.
Booty can be, taken by various pirates.
So, yeah. So long as you bury it, I think it's legally yours.
Oh, I buried it, all right.
Don't even want to know what that means.
Okay, yeah, let's not go there. What are my impressions of Sea of Thieves? Good question.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Well, frankly, it's kind of a glorified tech demo from what I've seen. I mean, come on, Rare. I mean, you know what we all want, Banjo 3E, and nothing else but it. We literally will not stand for anything but Banjo 3E. No creative... Yes?
I would also accept another Conquer game.
No, not even that. Banjo 3E, Banjo 3E. No creativity, nothing else. All the good guys left back in the day. Fuck Rare. Fuck this game.
What's another game that the internet always asks them for? I guess a new GoldenEye, maybe.
Maybe.
GoldenEye 008.
Brown
Where's
Eye.
that game?
I don't know. But in all seriousness, I'm also not going to say Sea of Thieves is the greatest game ever made, because I haven't played it. You've played it. But from what I've seen, I dig. And the reason I dig is because...
that's retro.
Oh, yeah. Do you dig? Digger T Rock 2017. This game looks like... it looks like a dream that Rare, no pun intended, has wanted to make for a while now. You know, like it's the pirate themes, it's just the perfect time for them to make this sort of open world new take that, and I think you guys have discussed in the past how GoldenEye was such a revolutionary thing. You never know. I mean, I'm not going to jinx it, but this could be like a really new experience that this generation of consoles is severely missing based on what I've seen as far as customization, adventure, exploration. It could be something really special. And so I don't want to be biased and say it definitely will, but I mean, I trust Rare and I trust what I've seen, and it looks awesome. So there you go.
Yeah, well, I've used the term game changer, and I mean, I don't know how accurate that will be. It's hard to say what will actually, catch fire in the market nowadays, but especially a new IP like this. But it does remind me of it's as seismic a game that they've made as Donkey Kong Country or GoldenEye. Just the way those completely changed or dominated the landscape. I feel like Sea of Thieves at least has the potential to be that, and actually playing it is that much fun.
And honestly, I feel like they've had a few seismic games that could have changed everything if people were only paying attention. You know what I mean? This won't be the first one since GoldenEye is what I'm saying. Even Viva Pinata, which I've never played all the way through either, is just from what I have played, is extremely unique and could have been a bestseller on... Was it a bestseller on the 360? I don't remember.
I mean, it was their most lucrative, I think, game...
Since the buyout.
For Microsoft, at least up until Kinect Sports.
Okay.
Which, I believe Kinect Sports actually, did move quite a bit.
And as I've stated before, I mean, Grab by the Ghoulies was never going to be a revolution, but it should have been a household name. It was so great.
What are you talking about, Nick? You haven't been to my house.
Oh, true. It all depends on the house.
It's true. Yeah. I would think Viva Pinata, had it been on a Nintendo system.
Maybe.
Or had it come out for the Xbox at a different time.
Well, it was on DS, but didn't do much. But
yeah, but that's different. Had it had the backing of Nintendo, I think it's one of those things it could have at least surpassed something like Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And whatever, but yeah.
Now, as far as my excitement for Sea of Thieves, I've heard a lot of talk lately online and stuff that maybe hype is killing games in a way. For instance, the recent No Man's Sky, which I wasn't even looking forward to, or did I play? But apparently hype kind of over expectations killed it a bit. Mixed maybe with developer misinformation. But in my opinion, for Sea of Thieves, we have no reason not to be hyped. I mean, you know what I mean? This anticipation for it is quite fun because I really know so little about it, and every reveal is really tantalizing.
Yeah, Rare's been really good about how they dole out information and not, I think, getting people too overhyped for it. Mm-hmm. They've been kind of taking the gaming audience on a little bit of a journey as they slowly lift the curtain bit by bit. So I think people are going to be like really surprised by the game they get. Like, expectations are a lot higher than they were when it was announced at E3 2015. But I think people still have no conception of just how revolutionary this game is going to be.
Yeah, if the game was only what we've seen so far, I would be excited, but not like super excited. But when I sit down and think about like, wait, that's just a piece of it. Think about the whole world that's going to be out there to explore, and like all the stuff that's been hinted at and that you guys saw and everything. Like, it's going to be something really, really cool.
Right. I need to reiterate that what we've seen so far, what they've taken to E3 and Gamescom, they're just specific builds for events like that. It's a combat build where the whole purpose is to learn how to sail the ship and then fight other ships.
It's going to be much more than that.
Much more.
Awesome.
So, what I thought we would do is engage in some baseless speculation because we're DK Vine and because we're ADD afflicted children who can't sit
Speak for
still.
yourself. I have ADHD. Thank you very much.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry.
Don't you hear me bouncing off the walls over here?
Do I need to check my privilege?
Oh, check all of those privileges.
So, but it's gonna be some baseless speculation, but also some speculation just rooted in years of Rare fandom, and also, I don't know, just taking what we've seen, what's officially been revealed so far, and extrapolating from that. So, first of all, let's talk about something that really intrigues me, and that's the size of the game. So we do know, and this was revealed at E3, that each island in the game has a name and a specific identity. So it's not like it's automatically generated at random, like something like Minecraft or something. Now, this is actually a living, breathing game world that people can learn the ins and outs of.
I can't wait to see the map. You know what I mean?
I mean, could you? Oh, yeah, that would be something that you could even sell. Like, if it's
absolutely.
I know the Grand Theft Auto games, have bundled maps.
Yeah, or the Elder
cities.
Scrolls ones.
Yeah. And so it'd be cool. I don't really know like if they're going to provide that or
it would make sense. I mean, I would be a little.
But then again, if you're thrown in the game world, you would think.
True, you might want it to blindly go where no man has gone before.
Right. If you're going to be a pirate, how many pirates were provided maps of the world?
Maybe just give you half the map and have a huge bite mark taken out of
it. The size of the game, like when we're dealing with a game that's primary modus operandi is sailing the ocean. Just how big could this game possibly be? Because we know it's going to be filled with islands that each have their own identity, but then you've got to sail to each island, and how vast can they possibly make this game?
Technology-wise, I'm not sure, but I'm hoping it's huge, but not too daunting, whereas you get lost quite easily. You know what I mean?
Well, I think getting lost would be part of the fun of this game.
Sure, but not lost in like where the hell am I supposed to go? God damn it!
Yeah, but I mean, you might be forgetting too that you're more than likely going to be sailing with other people.
This is true.
There's going to be this community aspect of we're lost out at sea together.
Yeah.
So I think that could be great fun. But I'm thinking about something like again like Grand Theft Auto 5, and that's just my go-to example for big open world games in the current generation. That game is pretty massive, but it still has kind of set parameters. Like you can, I forget how long it takes to get from one end of the map to another, but I mean, it's not, not terribly long, all things considered, especially considering which vehicle you get in. Here it's fundamentals are completely different, but all told, I would have to imagine this would be much larger than your Grand Theft Auto, because you're not going to have fast transport, you're not going to have like a teleportation system when the whole point of the game is crewing up and setting sail. There can't be any shortcuts.
I mean, maybe once you visited an island, there's some sort of fast way to get to it. Although that might ruin it too. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think that would ruin it.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think so. So there's got to be a way to keep. You don't want it to be monotonous, and that's what really fascinates me. This balance that Rare must be striving for.
I'm curious. I mean, I'm sure the gameplay is completely different, but I wonder if they looked at Wind Waker at all and kind of compared like what not to do, what to do.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
I'm sure, because that's also where my mind goes as far as sailing a game. I mean, that's one of the first times I can remember doing that in a 3D game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, how successful do you think was Wind Waker? Because I never really gave Wind Waker too much of a fair shake, honestly. I was one of those people back when it was announced. Because, I was early 20s, angsty. I wanted my brooding, realistic Zelda. I didn't want this cartoony shit.
Gotcha.
And I regret that now, obviously. And I recognize Wind Waker as a classic.
Yeah,
but,
it's great.
Yeah, but I mean, how successful was the sailing in Wind Waker, Nick?
I had never had any problem with it. I've heard people say the HD remake fixed a lot of issues the original had, though.
The 80 HD remake?
Yes.
Did they remake it specifically for your kind?
Just for me. Bouncing off the walls, little jumping June bug.
It's just like a WarioWare game where they throw a different task at you every 15 seconds.
Exactly. But, I don't remember having an issue with the sailing. I'm sure there was some issues, and I've heard people say there were issues.
Did it get boring?
It all, for me personally, like if I sit down with the intention of like fully investing in a game, even something that usually might be boring to me, isn't if I'm like all wrapped up in the story of it and looking forward to the next thing.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
So it depends really. If I was playing Wind Waker where like I beat the game already and I just needed to go pick up some stuff I missed, I might be rolling my eyes at how long it took to get from place to place. But if I'm part of an adventure, it kind of doesn't matter as long as there's things to see along the way, Yeah,
I think game immersion goes a long way.
Yeah.
Like you've got to be sold on believing in the world, and
it can't just be blank blue sea the whole time. You know what I mean?
And Sea of Thieves won't be.
No,
I mean, from what I've seen, from what the world has seen now, it's never just empty ocean. Yeah, you have like wide open sea, but you have like rock formations you need to avoid. You have
Snorkel the Dolphin jumping out screaming Andy Robinson.
Well, I mean, look, we need Andy Robinson to tell Steve Mails to tell his brother Greg to put a dolphin in Sea of Thieves.
We've reiterated this. Well, we haven't, but someone has reiterated this numerous times.
Kongversation listener and frequent caller Snorkel the Dolphin.
And Banjo-Kazooie canon character.
Yes.
It's literally him. It's no one else.
I have taken to just accepting the fact that is Snorkel the Dolphin. And if it's just a crazy man on the street who thinks he's Snorkel the Dolphin from over
more power to him.
Yeah, and I just fully accept that's what Snorkel the Dolphin should sound like.
We have no evidence it's not Snorkel.
But yeah, for some reason he wants Platonix Andy Robinson to tell Platonix Steve Mails to tell his brother Rare's Greg Mails to put a dolphin in the game, rather than just
telling Greg Mails.
Right. So I just love the convoluted logic that is Snorkel the Dolphin.
Well, dolphins are very smart creatures, but they're not that smart.
Speak for have you ever swam with the dolphins, Nick?
Just Echo, and he was really annoying.
I played Echo the Dolphin. Sorry, tangent time. I've played Echo the Dolphin because my old friend Elliot, my childhood friend,
rest in peace.
Who I first, he's not dead as far as I know.
Oh, you didn't hear? I'm just kidding. He's fine. He's got a whole family. He's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer. Why isn't he my lawyer? Why did I have to go to our friend to be my lawyer?
I don't know. But yeah, Proto Chad, right?
Yes. He had a Game Gear, so I played Echo the Dolphin for the Game Gear quite a bit before the battery died after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And take that, early 90s portable hardware.
Yeah, the Genesis game I think is good. It's very Zen-like. It's very meditative.
Yeah, and I mean the Game Gear game was kind of that. I never knew what to really do, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of nice."
Oh, you didn't.
But
You didn't. The first level, you beat it by finding Andy Robinson.
No, I always get caught in those 6-pack,
Oh yeah.
can nets or whatever.
Should have called
you
it
know?
Eco the Dolphin with all its Greenpeace bullshit. Yeah, I'm gonna make a point in Sea of Thieves to just litter all the time.
I do wonder. It's like pre climate change, pre industrial revolution. So I am looking forward to seeing the world in a more pristine state of being than we'll ever know it.
But is it pre-Christ?
Pre-Christ? No. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they've officially like confirmed this, but you look at the game, and I think it's clear that it takes place in the golden age of piracy. So. No, I mean, not pre-Christ.
So morals have been invented at this point.
It would be interesting if it was concurrent with Christ, because he could just walk across the ocean.
Exactly, no ship required.
No ship required. I mean, who wouldn't want to crew up with him?
He could take all the liquor you're drinking to get drunk and make it into wine. I mean, water.
No.
I mean, fuck.
Yeah,
it.
no. He could like make grog out of the ocean itself.
Yeah.
That would be a
Sea of grog.
Oh man, now I really want to see. Well, we'll get into any possible
Cameos.
religious iconography here in a bit. I don't know how big the game's going to be, but we know it's going to take place in a pastiche of what I'm assuming is supposed to be the Caribbean, and I don't know if they're ever going to spell out where exactly the game takes place.
Kind of hope they don't. And kind of hope they do.
I hope they don't.
I don't
either.
know.
Because Rare already has their well, I guess it's kind of more famous now. We've helped popularize the idea, but there's especially Cameron Regal who has created a map that has grown in prominence. But there's a Rare archipelago where a lot, because you look at all their games starting with Donkey Kong Country onward, and most of them taking place on tropical islands.
Yeah.
So, we've kind of mapped out this loose possibility of where they're all located. And, granted, this is just interpretation, but, you've got, not only Donkey Kong Island, Crocodile Isle, but, Timbers Island, the Isle o' Hags, and like Rivals Island from Connect Sports Rivals even.
My favorite island.
And now we've got, I don't even know how many islands are going to be in this game, but I assume it's going to be a vast amount. So, I would like to think this is just perhaps all to the west of the currently established Rare Archipelago. So, maybe it's like somewhere to the side of the Caribbean, maybe in the middle of the Atlantic. It can be vague because it's all fiction anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't know like exactly how big the game world. I don't think it's gonna like take place on a globe where you just sail the globe, and it's not gonna be clearly not on Earth. I think it's supposed to be set on Earth, just on this fictitious chain of islands.
Yeah.
But how big it's going to be interests me, and
as it does me.
Where the game barriers themselves, how that's going to work. Like,
I'm hoping invisible walls. I love those.
Invisible walls. So you're hoping they go full early N64.
Yeah.
I hope they have a castle that's only half completed.
That would be cool.
Talk about tech demos. Mamma mia. Let's talk a little bit about the lore of the game.
Okay.
Rare's kind of viewpoint on game lore and the legends therein are, and I quote, just enough lore, because they want there to be texture and context for what's happening, but they also want the players to kind of develop stories of their own. And I think it's a good balance because, again, I'm going back to GTA here. I'm sorry. It's one of the few non-Donkey Kong Universe games I'm well-versed in.
I forgive you, but Tipper Gore doesn't forgive you.
Actually, she's not even Tipper Gore anymore. They got divorced. Did you know that?
Tipper no more.
He tipped her over. No, I think Al Gore actually hooked up with the producer of his movie, Inconvenient Truth.
Michael Moore?
I think you're confused.
Oh.
Although that would be pretty hot.
Oh, yes.
That would raise my temperature to Fahrenheit 9/11.
GTA.
I like how our interplay has just become you kind of doing morning zoo crew noises to everything I say.
We got Fart Friday coming right up. Take those tops off, ladies.
I thought it'd be good to get you on the show again, Nick, but now I'm just gonna get Cameron in here. I'm gonna swap you out.
Yeah, he's not as zoo as me.
So anyway, what were we talking about? GTA, yeah. So what the annoying thing about Grand Theft Auto is whatever story they throw at you is always at odds with how you, the player, plays the game.
Yes.
Because more than likely, you're playing Grand Theft Auto as if you were the world's biggest sociopath. You're just this maniac who is a mass murdering, almost genocidal, prolific killer, the most prolific serial killer in American history. And yet, and then all of a sudden, okay, now that I've done killing an entire city block, I've got to go repo a car because that's my day job.
Go take a girl out on a date.
It never makes any sense considering, no, your day job would be robbing the same convenience store 17 times. It's so you always have to kind of make these mental leaps in logic, especially if you're that concerned about internal consistency in the game as I am. The narrative that Grand Theft Auto always tries to force upon you never really makes any sense, which is why the character Trevor was so genius, because he is a complete maniac.
Yeah, from what I heard. Yeah.
But it looks like Rare is going to be avoiding that because they know gamers are going to be playing Sea of Thieves with their own character backstory, mapped out in their heads.
Will there be any form of law or authority in the game, you think?
I don't know. Is there going to be the Royal Navy coming in?
Because pirates need an enemy, and it can't just be other pirates and skeletons.
I don't know, though.
It can be.
The thing I like about Sea of Thieves, and the thing I liked about Rare's games dating back to Donkey Kong Country 2, is that they kind of take place in this weird world where piracy is just kind of left unchecked.
Yeah.
Now, granted, DKC2, Banjo-Tooie, Grab by the Ghoulies, all these games that have had famous rare pirates in the past. Well, I don't guess anything Grab by the Ghoulies is famous, but again, you haven't been to my house.
Depends on the house.
Yeah. They all take place in the current modern day, so there's always this weird anachronism that classic piracy was still a thing, not like Somalian pirates or anything, but people using Napster, but genuine pirates on old school galleons with the rigging and their.
Wait, so Seth Green, the creator of Napster, is not going to be in the game?
What?
I believe that's from the Italian Job remake.
Oh, okay. I've not seen the Italian Job
Lucky man.
remake.
Lucky man.
I until we befriend a Mark Wahlberg related podcast, I don't think
we got ourselves a Transformer.
I don't think I'm going to be going out of my way to see that. I wonder if a Mark Wahlberg related podcast would have to review every episode of Wahlburgers.
Probably him and Donnie.
Yeah, well, if it was related to Donnie Wahlberg, then you'd have to go with Blue Bloods, and would that extend to the greater extended Wahlberg universe with Jenny McCarthy?
Donnie, I told you to stay in the car.
Would you have to review every vaccine to see if it gives you autism?
Would you have to speculate on every 9/11 flight if you were on, you could have prevented
it? Would you have to blind an Asian shopkeeper?
Dark.
Oh, Mark Wahlberg. Him and his third nipple. They're America's greatest treasures.
What is he, Mr. Scaramanga?
Oh.
Deep cut.
He is the man with the golden gun.
Yeah, and it's made him a big shining star in a particular movie.
We saw his funky bunch up close.
Oh yeah.
We should just start a Mark Wahlberg podcast, Nick.
Why
what do
not?
you say?
Let's
ditch
do
this
it.
Shit. Yeah.
Max Pod.
We'll give the Hanksgiving a run for their money. Does the Tom Hanks giving have to review every episode of Bosom Buddies though? Granted,
I know
there's only
they have to review Bosom Buddies. I don't know about Bosom Buddies.
You say Bosom Buddies, I say Bosom Buddies.
Yeah, true. Let's call the whole thing off.
Let's call the whole thing off. So, my God, the thing, like I said, like piracy is kind of in the Rare Archipelago at least has continued into the modern day, and nobody really says anything because. And that's one thing I really have always loved about the shared Rare universe. Well, we call it the Donkey Kong universe. But just because we started off with Donkey Kong Country and it kind of grew out of that. But, it's kind of not entirely
it's misleading sometimes.
Fair to Rare to still call it that, but we do. So whatever. It's not fair to Platonic either, but yeah, whatever. And not fair to Nintendo, but we're just.
It's really not fair to Payon.
No, it's actually entirely fair to Payon, considering the only reason we talk about Payon is there are 3 Donkey Kong games.
That's true. I meant Camelot.
Well, I don't think the latest Mario Tennis game was fair to Camelot.
That's true. I meant whoever created Barrel Maze.
Yeah, who did create Barrel Maze? That is the great mystery. That is what we need to uncover.
Newgrounds?
Journalists. Who made Barrel Maze for CandyStand.com?
You never know.
We'll find out before the spotlight episode of that.
Kevin Callahan?
Oh my God. This is the last Kongversation of summer 2016. Summer 2016 has come and gone without a Kevin Callahan sighting. I feel so disillusioned right now.
Yeah, it's almost like he was never even there.
He exists. I mean,
okay. I know.
Oh, I'm saying like the blog didn't appear out of the ether. Like it wasn't some natural formation that we just hallucinated that had some author's intent. No, I'm not saying Kevin Callahan is his true identity. I'm just saying somebody's fingers did the typing there, and I want to find out who.
I think I know.
Who?
Saf.
Now, see, that was my theory, and we're going completely off topic now. But
all right,
that was
back
my
to
theory. No, I thought it was Saf like from day one, and then I confronted Saf about it. He's denied it. Sometimes
just based on the recent allegations of him having secret information. That's what I thought it was.
I'm pretty sure that's some like half-baked theory. Like, I don't know, like I was responsible for the infamous bitching about Prol feature, which was clearly written by my lawyer, Bob O'Friend.
Yeah, let's not even entertain that thought.
Right, he's a real guy. He's a real guy. And
I met him.
He apparently got his law degree at some point. So
he's out there serving the courts of justice with Elliot.
And then defending our good friend Sam.
Yes.
From any drug-related charges. So, allegedly, I'm just speculating here wildly. Where the fuck were we? Oh yeah. So anyway, yeah, the Rare Archipelago is just this weird place where classic pirates can roam about, and it's just this weird place that's kind of unseen by the modern world. Now, granted, Sea of Thieves more than likely takes place a couple centuries prior to all previous Rare games, but I like the idea that maybe piracy can remain unchecked in this island chain, whatever it is, and maybe the Royal Navy just can't penetrate this pirate stronghold, because there's going to be thousands and thousands of pirates in this game because it's a shared world. So, and I don't know, like it would be something to see like the Royal Navy come about, but I also don't think Rare would want to take away from the experience of actually interacting with other players. So
what if there's a whole hidden half of the game where you can play as a Navy member?
Yeah, but that would ruin it, though, because then it wouldn't be Sea of Thieves, would
Absolutely.
it? It would be Sea of some thieves and some law-abiding officers. Yeah, it would just be Ocean the game.
Yeah.
And granted, I would love the shit out of Ocean the game, but it would be kind of going off message at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, we may not have the Royal Navy. We might have the Royal Navy. I don't know. But, we do know we've got skeleton pirates.
A ghost ship.
We've got a ghost ship that seems to have some sort of character called the Pirate Lord on it, a ghostly figure.
You think that's a placeholder name or an official name?
Well, considering they actually produced a figure for Comic-Con that had Pirate Lord printed on it, pretty sure they're going with that name.
If it's on the fig, it's in the game.
You got those creepy looking mermaids from the E3 cinematic trailer.
Yeah, I've never been fascinated with the concept of mermaids, but for some reason that's one of the points I always think of when I'm excited about this game, because it is something kind of mysterious up till now.
Yeah, well, and we've seen mermaids in Donkey Kong 64, yes. And then they were referenced in Banjo-Tooie. The statues of that mermaid race were seen in Atlantis in Banjo-Tooie. But these mermaids seem to be of a different ilk.
Yeah, possibly with ill intentions.
Well, yeah, they're very creepy looking, and they look less human than they got a bluish tint to their skin. So it's not like mermaids are a classic nautical trope, and there's theories that the legend of mermaids actually originated from sailors spotting manatees, and I don't know how you can get from a manatee to a beautiful fish lady, but
one's a man, one's a maid, totally different.
Yeah. Granted, I haven't been, out at sea for months on end, and I'm sure manatees start looking pretty good when you're out there.
I haven't either, and they already do look pretty good.
Well, I've already, mentioned my time at the pig farm, so.
They put the T's in manatees.
Maybe there'll be manatees in this game that you could, have a dating simulator with.
Yeah, that's how you regain health, like in GTA. You just pull up to a manatee, just climb down the ladder, hump it.
Could be like that Fire Emblem game where you have to, pet their faces.
Oh, I think I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, they actually removed that feature in North America.
What? I am suing!
Because it was... How to delicately put this? It was distinctly Japanese, and I didn't think it would go over well.
Not fair.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, you'll just have to play Super Mario 64, where you can lovingly stroke Mario's face at the beginning of the game.
But yeah, that would be cool if there was manatees, either evil or not.
Evil manatees. I do wonder, how much sea life is going to be in the game. We mentioned dolphins, and we know Snorkel the dolphin wants to see some of his brethren in the game, some of his ancestors. But I'd
be down to see Enguarde's ancestors.
Well, yeah, you look back at Grab by the Ghoulies, they had some Enguarde pastiches in the game where you could bludgeon ghoulies with frozen swordfish.
Clambo better be in it.
What's that?
Clambo.
Clambo or Giant Clam from Donkey Kong Land, yeah. It would be cool though to see well, I don't know, could you ride a dolphin in the game? Now I'm actually thinking about Snorkel's proposition, and how cool would it be to actually have kind of a Donkey Kong style animal buddies in the game?
Snorkel's proposition, a Sherlock Holmes mystery.
Anyway, I was talking about
other creatures.
What seemed to be NPCs in the game.
And, yeah.
So we know skeleton pirates, the Pirate Lord, and we don't know what the deal with the creepy looking mermaids are, but
I think on some islands there should be like a castaway guy who has a huge beard who's been there for years or something, and it's kind of kooky. Like
played by Mark Wahlberg, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Wait, what's the connection?
Anyway, but we also sea life. Then we've also got the Kraken, and we've seen the Kraken was hinted at in the initial E3 2015 trailer on the cave drawing.
Yeah,
and then of course,
hinted in the trailer.
Well, not hinted, but explicitly shown in the.
Well, have we seen
trailer.
its like face?
We haven't seen its face. We've seen tentacles.
Yeah,
but
I want to see that face.
Because, if you're turned on by manatees, imagine what the Kraken will do to you.
Yeah, I don't want to just see some sagging tentacles. I want to see that face.
Oddly specific sexual fetish, Nick.
I'm a face man.
That would actually make you, like, I don't know, a romantic at heart.
Yeah, it's actually kind of accurate.
Yeah, you actually are into their faces as opposed to anything attached to it. Like tentacles. So what other nautical legends might we see in the game? Because we got skeleton pirates, the kind of the Ray Harryhausen type, stuff. Ghost ships, obviously, lots of legends about those. Mermaids, Kraken. What else?
Well, given the time period, it'd be cool if you could if you were sailing along and then Noah's Ark passed you.
Once again, this does not take place in Bible times, as far as we know.
Well, I would say the Flying Dutchman, but that's sort of ghost ship already, right?
Yeah, and I think Rare wants to steer clear. They said they don't want any legendary pirates, from history in the game. Okay. And granted, I mean, the Flying Dutchman is a legend, but I think they want to create their own in-game legends.
Yeah.
And they want they want the core experiences to be generated by the players, but they don't want any distractions from the real world.
Flying Dutchman, Kraken, what other nautical stuff is there? What am I forgetting?
Chad and I have mentioned sirens in the past.
Yes, that'd be cool.
Because we thought at the end of the E3 2015 trailer, the one that's actually on YouTube, not the one that they showed at the actual conference, they had the Rare logo appear at the end, and you hear what sounds like a siren's call.
Yeah.
But we're not really sure what that is. It would be cool if there were sirens in the game.
It could be annoying gameplay wise, but what if they utilized it like the Lost Woods, where you follow a sound to get to a certain hidden location?
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool. Atlantis would be cool.
Well, I mentioned Atlantis, which was featured in Banjo-Tooie.
But I mean, if it pops up in this, it could be cool.
Well, yeah. That's kind of a well that Rare's gone to a couple times. We had Kremlantis in Donkey Kong Land and the sadly canceled Donkey Kong Racing. Rest in peace. What was that?
A morning eulogy.
Oh, I thought that was your siren call, and I was like, Nick.
That too.
Please, I'm trying to do a podcast. Don't try to get me to wreck on these rocks.
Maybe
to the left of me.
Yeah, Atlantis would be cool, especially if you go down to it, dive down to it.
Yeah, well, we saw in the cinematic trailer this year, we saw characters diving for treasure. And I don't know if that's going to be, a huge thing in the game. That would terrify me, honestly. There's a phobia, and I don't think I suffer from this phobia, but then again, I've never really put it into action. There's a phobia people have of being on, very deep water. And I forget what let me look it up. I say I don't know what it's called, but I have the whole of human knowledge in front of my fingertips here. Let me look it up.
The benzophobia? I don't know.
All right, let me use the Google here.
Dun, 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 dun,
all right,
dun,
phobia,
dun, 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 dun,
deep
dun, 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 dun,
water.
dun,
Oh, it comes right up. All right. So, okay, so it's called bathophobia.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's stupid.
I had that as a kid. I think Calvin had that too.
Oh, wait. Maybe that's just the layman's term. There's all there. Okay. Thalassophobia is an intense and persistent fear of the sea. But I'm just talking about thalassophobia. Okay. Thalassophobia.
So being deep underwater, it's like a form of claustrophobia, but with water.
Yeah. So people have this because when you can't see what's underneath your feet, it's inherently terrifying.
Yeah.
So, and I'd be fine if I was on a ship, but if I actually had to dive down into it, I think that would be pretty unnerving. So,
plus swimming controls have proven controversial.
Have they?
I mean, have they not? I mean, hasn't that been like?
Are you thinking about ukulele?
Yeah, a little bit.
The toy box
and banjo and other games.
I never had a problem with the swimming. It's pretty intuitive.
I haven't, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of games I know people are like, oh, swimming sections.
Oh, I thought you meant specifically about Sea of Thieves.
Oh, not at all. No.
No. Yeah, swimming's pretty easy to get the hang of. And you're gonna be swimming a lot in the game.
Okay.
But as far as like diving down deep,
no, I meant in game history, swimming mechanics have been proven controversial.
Yeah. Well, I think, because if there's anything controversial about Sea of Thieves so far, it's just that it's all first person. So I think that's what people are going to have a little bit of trouble getting the hang of. But
yeah,
you're gonna get the feel of it pretty quickly. And
for those who have played like Elder Scrolls games, it should be nothing.
Yeah, and it's pretty damn immersive, and eventually you just forget about it, and you're like, oh, this is the way the game is. But yeah, the swimming was fine, but I haven't dived down because in the E3 build, you can't really dive; it's just swimming along the surface.
Now, this is unrelated, but do you think there will be an incentive for fighting enemies?
What do you mean, like the
any sort of reward of any kind? Because like I know a lot of open world games, if you don't get XP or gold or something from the enemies, it's kind of like you just rush past them. Like there's no point to fight them.
I would imagine there's a purpose to everything in the game,
because that can make it very addictive and give you a reason to explore more. But if you get nothing from fighting them, that would be kind of stale.
I think anybody who wants to play Sea of Thieves however they want to play it can.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to fight enemies, the game's not going to punish you for it. But, if you're pirates, then I think, you're going to want to be constantly pursuing treasure or, maybe like getting a better ship.
Yeah.
And so I would imagine fighting enemies would be maybe a way to progress those in those fronts.
Yeah, I just have so many questions. I mean, we don't have time for them in this podcast, but how do you customize your ship? Where do you get parts? How do you hire NPC crewmen?
And that's what. Well, I don't. Would there be NPC crewmen? We know there's going to be NPCs in the game, and that's why that seems to be this argument among people who are interested about the game, because Rare's trying to be pretty clear that there's going to be NPCs, but they're not the focus of the game. Like they're not going to play the driving.
It's got to be a story, though, right?
Does there have to be?
I mean, there definitely doesn't have to be, but there probably will be one, right?
Just enough lore, so there can be like.
Is story and lore the same thing, though? Or is lore background context, and story is more driving force of the adventure?
I think both.
Okay.
Like, because again, they don't want to give gamers this preset narrative. This is just the world that is. It's a world full of pirates, and the stories that come about are going to be ones that you create. But there will be context here and there. Like if you're on an island, there's going to be maybe some history to that island.
Because even MMOs have plots that kind of progress via updates and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is to be seen, because I don't really,
who knows?
I don't know. But from what everything like Joe Neat has said, and he even said, after our visit to Rare, he realized how important lore is to Rare fans.
Yes.
So they are, making a point to have some fleshed out cool stuff for us to really sink our teeth into. But again, they want the core experience to be whatever we bring to the table versus what they do.
I want some painting or some wanted poster of some fearsome pirate like in a tavern, and then you like run into that pirate later. Stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, and they're pretty clear about they want the legendary pirates in the game that people talk about in hushed whispers to be the actual players themselves.
Yeah.
Like, they want you to strive to be, an infamous legend. But that being said, I think there's still room for a little bit of that. So, yeah, but you mentioned Atlantis, and that would be interesting if, you could explore, like, the sunken ruins of Atlantis.
Maybe see Milo and Rourke and Kira.
I don't understand that reference.
Oh, the Disney's greatest film, Atlantis?
Oh, wasn't that where they actually ripped off Stargate?
If you want to call it that, call it that.
Because they had the guy who was clearly the James Spader / Michael Shanks character.
All I know is it had concept art by Mike Mignola and no songs of any kind.
But you know what? It was also lacking, Nick. It was lacking Teal'c. Teal'c from Stargate.
True, yeah. There was nobody with a weird sphincter on their forehead.
That's why I haven't watched it.
Good point.
My favorite Disney princesses all have sphincters on their forehead.
You're a man, a meat and potatoes kind of guy. But yeah, Atlantis.
I'm just your average American male. Yeah. What can I say?
Atlantis could be cool.
Atlantis. On that same note, I'm wondering, would there be, and we mentioned Jesus Christ, but maybe going back a little bit further, what about any influence of Poseidon / Neptune, even though I prefer the original Greek names and not the Roman names?
Yeah. It would have to be Greek mythology working into all this.
Yeah, I mean, we got sirens, maybe.
They might want to avoid repeating anything God of War attempted, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know, but I think they could put a cool rare spin on it. If,
for sure.
And granted, you don't want a god of the sea himself showing up, because that would be pretty. I don't know. Like, you want to keep the game somewhat grounded.
Just make it log, but with water wings on.
I don't know. Like, it would be cool though if maybe if he's not physically anywhere in the game, you could have cults of Poseidon, or at the very least statues. Yeah, you could definitely have some of these superstitious pirates who still believe or revere the great god of the sea.
I just hope Davy Jones of the Monkees shows up in it.
Rest in peace. And we're also rest in peace, third Beastie Boy. Yeah. We've lost so many of the greats.
But I mean, Davy Jones' locker was in Banjo-Tooie.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm sure there's going to be a Davy Jones locker joke in there somewhere. I mean, I'm sure they have just a checklist of things that they need to tick off. Oh yeah. This is our big pirate game that we're finally making. Gotta get in all the stalwarts, all the classics, the greatest hits.
What classics am I forgetting, or what would you like to see in there?
Well, we'll get into that when we get into what potential rare characters might appear in the game. But circling back to the Kraken real quick, one thing I'm wondering about, we know the Kraken's in the game, but when will the Kraken actually appear? Because you don't want to cheapen the experience of running into a goddamn Kraken. So at what point does...
At the crack of dawn.
Oh, well, I mean, the day-night cycle it's a minute for every hour, but I feel like that would be pretty
frequent,
draining if he actually appeared at the crack and dawn. But yeah, I don't know, because when Chad and I were playing the game, we would occasionally, and especially when we were sailing at night, we would occasionally hear this noise. And we mentioned this in our Sea of Thieves First Impressions video on our YouTube channel, geekguide.com/YouTube. And we would hear this noise, and it was the same noise that we heard in the E3 2015 trailer when you saw the Kraken cave drawing. So we're pretty sure this noise we were hearing was the Kraken, but we never encountered the Kraken. And I can't imagine that the Kraken's just going to attack you every night. So I'm wondering, like, what triggers the Kraken? Is it just completely randomized, or do they have the Kraken in mind for certain events? I don't know.
Like in-game events, sort of like an MMO has.
Yeah, or like if you, I don't know. I don't know, because in the cinematic trailer, the Kraken was attacking 2 ships. So, is that the trigger? Is it going to be a massive sea battle, and is the Kraken their way of thinning the herd a bit?
Yeah, it'd be cool if it was kind of randomized.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm kind of hoping that it's, I don't know, like, you never know when the Kraken's going to appear, but I also hope you have a little bit of warning, like you hear that noise and as it gets louder, you have to like just get the hell away.
I mean, probably if Liam Neeson is around, it's going to come out.
Oh, right. That's a Star Wars Episode 1 reference, because when they were sailing in the waters of Naboo, they got attacked by large marine life, and Liam Neeson said there's always a bigger fish, as if that was some sort of profound thing that would later have some relevance in the movie, but it never had any relevance in The Phantom Menace.
Oh, you must not have seen the Blu-ray, because after he gets killed by Darth Maul, he leans in and whispers to Obi-Wan, "There's always a bigger fish," and then he dies.
Was Darth Maul the bigger fish? Because he was pretty short.
No, he was talking about Darth Maul's lightsaber is bigger than his.
Oh, yeah. That's
not a really good payoff.
No, George Lucas isn't really that profound of a writer.
One could say that.
One could say that, and one should say
Yes.
that, but I digress. Yeah, I don't know. That's something that really fascinates me, because playing the game and you hear that noise at night, it is absolutely terrifying.
Wow.
So it's things like that in the game that, as much as I'm looking forward to playing the game, I'm also a craven coward, and I'm not looking forward to the apprehension of Kraken attacks.
Something cool will trigger it, I'm sure. They'll come up with something creative.
Yeah. And like I said, the only saving grace is you're playing this game with other people. So it's like you can play this game alone, and that's Rare's made that clear. It's just going to be harder. Like, you can have a small little ship on your own, but you're not going to be able to really, reap the benefits you can crewing up.
Yeah.
So, and one of the big benefits would be you don't have to face a Kraken by yourself.
A lot of games have kind of that almost unkillable baddie that shows up randomly, like Pyramid Head or some sort of online games probably have it. But if done right, the Kraken could kind of become iconic as like a symbol of fear.
Yeah.
Like when it shows up, people over their mics are just like, "Oh shit, the Kraken, the Kraken!"
Yeah, because I don't see any way you could kill it in game. Like, that would just and it looks like it could pretty much destroy your ship too. So you would have good incentive to want to avoid it. Like, so yeah, I think they're gonna give you plenty of warning if a Kraken appears, but also if you're like in the middle of a battle, then maybe, it's going to be easy to overlook those warnings or just hard to get away in general. And that's when a Kraken attack could be devastating.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about customization, items, and so forth. So we don't know really the extent of freedom in this area yet, because we haven't really seen anything in the way of, creating, your pirate character or what have you. My question, and I think this is the most important question we're going to raise on this episode of the Kongversation: can I run around buck naked if I so choose?
That's sort of the question I've been asking my whole life.
I mean, you're out at sea, you're breaking the laws. It's not smart to be out on open ocean naked, because you're going to get sunburnt. You're going to get, sun poisoning. You're probably going to get skin cancer. I don't know how aware they were of skin cancer dangers back in the golden age of piracy.
Probably relatively unconcerned.
Probably. But,
It better be possible, though, if anything, just for the NPC reactions.
Yeah, I mean, Rare could easily pixelate everything out.
Yeah.
I mean, but I just want to know that my character could be a nudist if He so
Or maybe you
chokes.
run around naked like in one of those old-timey barrels that covers you, so it's like a DK reference as well.
I would love to run around in a barrel. Yeah. Rare, if you're listening to this, please just give us the option of being naked. And it could even, and granted, it wouldn't be that tactical because, you would be shivved more easily. You have no protection, but, it might be
Your
nice.
booty
It
would
might
be
nice.
exposed.
It could also be a good punishment to inflict upon, any mutinous crewmen. Oh, now you have to strip naked. Nothing sexual, unless a manatee shows up.
Then it's all sexual.
Oh my! The customization is something I think really excited about because, and granted, this is where our hopes can get a little bit too high. I hope I can, really, like, I don't think there's going to be like an art studio in the game where you can, finely tune every minute detail of your character and your ship and your crew. But,
yeah, at least some customization would be nice.
now I want to talk about pets a little bit. And this is something, I know DK Vine reader and infamous Kongversation caller Scrap69.
Never heard of him.
Oh, really? You've never listened to this show?
No, I have. The name doesn't ring a bell. What does he usually say?
He usually goes on about blood diamonds and...
Oh.
Yeah,
I just refer to him as
Um,
Master in real life.
Oh. Learning something new about Nick Prol every day.
Yeah, I'm kind of his manatee in the bedroom.
Well, speaking of that, pets. This is something he's excited
cool.
about the possibility because we know we've seen cats on the ship. And by the way, I do want to point out because I brought this up on the conversation a few weeks back. Unfortunately, I did lose my cat this week.
Sucks.
Yeah, so if I seem off my game this week, that's probably the big reason why. So, love you, Smokey. Yeah. Never easy to lose a pet, and but we've seen cats in the game, and we've seen cats on the ship. So in the cinematic trailer, so the implication is that you can have pets in the game, like a pet on the ship that the whole crew can share and love.
An evolution of animal buddies, if you will.
Or a de-evolution, maybe, because, these are just pets you would possibly feed, and they have no strategic benefit whatsoever.
Well said. I'm completely wrong.
Joy. Yeah. But speaking of animal buddies, there's potentially parrots in the game, too, because we know there are parrots in the game. But
what if you could use, like, the voice chat support to record any message into a parrot, send it to the other team's ship, it shows up and just goes, "Fuck you."
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Like, because parrots are in the game, but we don't really know if you as a pirate or you as the crew could have a pet parrot. But I think it's a pretty safe, logical assumption to make because it's one of the most classic pirate archetypes.
I think knowing Rare and the amount of detail they put into things, like the spitball idea I just mentioned, like, they could really take a lot of pirate tropes and then transform them into game mechanics that have never been done before.
That's actually brilliant, and I actually kind of got chills just listening to that. 'Cause that just seems plausible.
Yeah, it's just and other stuff like that too. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, now my favorite animal, right?
The narwhal, monkey,
ape, right? Monkeys. We've seen this.
Oh, there's gonna be monkeys in the game.
I'm sure there are, but
But as a pet,
this isn't as common a pirate trope as parrots, but
could rip your face off.
We've seen, like, in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, we've seen monkeys, be on the crew. Could you have a monkey on the ship?
Just keep it away from the bad dates.
That's a reference.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a reference to Indiana Jones and
Oh,
right, because Shia LaBeouf looks like a monkey, and
yeah, and he's never been on a good date in his life.
I want monkeys on the ship. Okay, I
Yes,
want a monkey
they will be there.
on my crew. Okay, that's what I want.
Is that too much to ask?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Now, this is something that's really come up on DK Vine a lot, and I'm going to bring it up here. And I really don't know how Rare would handle this.
Oh, shit.
Will the game allow for essentially an armada of pirates? Like, we know, like, part of the game is going to be crewing up with other people,
Correct.
forming,
On one ship.
bond on a ship. But what would prevent gamers from... Now, when we see another pirate ship on the horizon, you don't necessarily have to fight them. You can trade with them. You can partner with them. But what would keep you from then teaming up and saying, hey, we should work together? And assuming that everybody on the ship is altruistic and actually not a backstabbing bastard. What if they actually did team up? And then what if those two ships teamed up with a third ship and a fourth ship and a fifth ship?
The pro is that would be awesome. The con is they could create some sort of guild clan type thing, and then some new player gets his first ship and he's setting out for sea, and he's like, wow, look at this game they call Sea of Thieves. Oh my gosh, an armada! And he just gets killed immediately.
Yeah, it could essentially break the game. Like, what would stop, I don't know, an armada of 30 or 40 ships?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be
Would make the Kraken not even obsolete.
It would be unfeasible. And so... would the game have any built-in ways to prevent that? I mean, because that would kind of ruin the experience.
What if you're sailing too close to another ship, just this monkey's face appears and goes, nuh-uh. And that's it.
Why? I want monkeys in the game. I've already established.
Well, there you go.
But okay.
He has a eye patch. He just goes, nuh-uh. You're like, oh, okay, well, that's not possible. Never mind. I won't attempt that.
See, and that's what makes me wonder what triggers the Kraken. Because I'm thinking if you actually formed an armada like that, maybe that would be like a Kraken triggering event. Just like, nope. The game's like, nope, fuck you. This is
Kraken
not
triggered.
going to happen. I'm sorry.
Consider that Kraken triggered.
It's just something to consider. Like, I would be excited, like, forming an armada of maybe like 2 or 3, 4 ships.
I'm thinking DK Vine Armada.
Yeah, we've already talked about a DK Vine Armada where, the staff's on one ship, some prominent, forum members.
I call the poop deck.
Yeah. We would have, we would team up with the Tom Hanks Giving podcast ship.
Ooh.
We would have other Rare fan sites on ships. Elliot and Sam would be on a ship together.
Well, Tom Hanks is good at landing things on the water, according to recent films, so they'd be pretty good.
That's right, yeah. And he's also, he's had a hand at fighting pirates as well.
And being on islands.
Why isn't Tom Hanks in this game? Can I keep Tom
Holy
Hanks as a pet,
shit.
Rare?
Screw monkeys, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks as a monkey.
Yeah. If Andy Serkis could do it, Tom Hanks can do it.
Tom Hanks can do anything, including get diabetes.
Well, yeah. He's the captain now.
Captain of insulin. So, finally, let's get to, I think, the topic.
The good stuff.
Well, the topic that I think a lot of DK Vine readers, Kongversation listeners, and what have you are really
Unzip
interested
your
in.
pants.
What Donkey Kong universe / Rare shared animal universe, whatever you want to call it, the universe of Rare games that exist within the same world.
I think if they're listening to this podcast, they're okay with it.
They know by now, yes, but I'm just trying to clarify. Started with Donkey Kong Country, Diddy Kong Racing, Banjo-Kazooie, Conquer, Grab by the Ghoulies, Viva Pinata, It's Mr.
Conker's
Pants,
Pocket Tales.
even Connect Sports Season 2 and Rivals took place in the shared universe. So
The entire Zelda series.
well, I mean,
Hey, he was in DKC too.
yes, and they met in Smash Brothers, but you know what I mean. Technically, all video games take place in the same shared universe, and things like Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, Mario and Sonic at the blah 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 Olympics,
Leisure Suit Larry,
like Custard's Revenge. Yes.
Humba Wumba, no.
Oh, Nick. You turned what was a family-friendly podcast into a bucket of filth.
I always go blue. I'm sorry.
You do go. Yeah, you're not. I mean, I spent all those years trying to become a priest, and it was ruined once I did the conversation with you.
I have soiled your congregation. I apologize, Father.
Soiled my stuffed manatee.
Okay, so DKU characters.
Yes, so we know that there's
most of them haven't been born, probably. Right?
Well, that's kind of the big issue, but we know that there are allusions to Banjo-Kazooie and, well, Joanna Dark, who technically is not part of the shared universe. Sort of. I mean,
maybe not in your house.
Connect Sports Rivals kind of blurs the issue, but Chris Alcock called in to the show once and made it clear that things like Perfect Dark couldn't really exist within the main Rare shared universe because now granted, I mean the shared Donkey Kong universe can range from ultra realistic to super cartoony.
Sure.
And there's a gradient there. And Sea of Thieves would fall more towards the realism, but it's more realistic than Grabbed by the Ghoulies, but still more cartoony than what you would normally see. There's a hyper realism to everything.
Correct.
So you're not going to have like talking monkeys in the game, but you're still going to have mythological elements.
Never know.
Oh, we never know. Tom Hanks as a monkey might be in the game, and I'm surely if they're going to get Mr. Tom Hanks, they're going to have him voice, the character.
There's a snake in my boat, indeed.
Yes. You throw these references to things I'm not well versed in, and I have to.
Toy Story?
Yeah, I never liked the original Toy Story.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I recognize it was revolutionary, and I recognize it was a good movie, but honestly, can I be completely straightforward with you?
Let's be open.
Pixar movies make me sad, and I don't like cartoons that make me sad.
Yeah, the third one was pretty dark when they were all going into that fire pit, and then the credits rolled. That was really dark.
Yeah, I don't like Wall-E made me cry, and I don't know why it made me cry, but I don't like to cry when I watch cartoons.
Yeah, fuck fat people. Wait, that was the tagline of Wall-E, right?
Yeah. Although it played really well in the manatee community.
Oh, they loved it. They loved Finding Dory too.
Anyway,
but yeah, so
there are
Hanks aside, there are no talking monkeys.
Yeah, anyway, there are allusions to Banjo-Kazooie and Joanna Dark because there are figureheads that you can put on the front of your ship which
are awesome.
Yeah. And you've got this ultra realistic bear and Regal type figurehead that's a clear reference to Banjo-Kazooie. You've got this human woman who is supposed to be a clear reference to Joanna Dark. But some people seem to think now that this might imply the lack of any actual physical character appearances, that this is the only rare references that they're going to put in the game.
Why would they assume that?
I don't know, because...
it kind of rules out Banjo and Joanna, but that's
we never thought they were going to be in the game anyway. Because tonally, it wouldn't really work if Banjo and Kazooie were in the game. That would be
Black Guy's going to be in there.
What's that?
Black Guy's going to be in there.
Well, and let's just get into it. Let's talk about what we've been tiptoeing around. Let's talk about Captain Black Eye. Let's have it out.
Wait,
Nick.
who?
What?
Wait, who's that? I was saying a black guy will be in it.
Oh my God. Well, I would hope so.
They better. If they're doing fluid genders, they better be all inclusive.
Yes, there are characters of African descent in the game. We've already seen them.
Cool. I'd be mad if they weren't.
You can make your pirate, I think, any race.
Perfect.
Yeah. I know. Everybody wins.
Just making a black eye pun because it sounds like...
No, I know what you're doing there, Nick. when Chad's not here, somebody's got to be the straight man, and it's a
True,
sad
true.
day when it has to be me.
Yeah.
So obviously, Greg Mails, right after Sea of Thieves was announced, changed his Twitter profile picture to
Roseanne Barr. And we're still puzzled why.
Yeah, it's really weird. I think Greg Mails and Tom Arnold are the same person just by sheer virtue of them never being seen in the same place at the same time.
That's true.
Now, I mean, they look nothing alike, but
They have the same core principles.
They both like pirates. They both like...
They both have zero acting ability.
They both like breathing oxygen.
Yes.
Yeah, they're basically the same guy.
Yeah. No, but yeah, he changed his avatar to Captain Black.
To this I'm just going to say this artwork of Captain Black Eye that we've never seen before that looked very much like artwork from Sea of Thieves, like a character model that could be in Sea of Thieves. If Captain Black Eye were in Sea of Thieves.
Closer to that than anything else, at least.
Right, and he later kind of walked it back and said, "Oh no, this is from Dream. Still looks good to this
That's
day."
me uncle.
But the issue is, we know what Captain Black Eye looked like in Dream. We've seen the render. We've seen the art style from Dream. It looks nothing like Dream. So my theory has always been he wasn't supposed to, he got overly excited and he wasn't supposed to show that bit.
Quit pulling our peg legs, Greg.
And the jury's still out because we don't know. But I think Rare's got to know. Rare's got to know that the fans
Have you ever
want
seen
Captain
the
Black
Ring?
Eye in the game, because this is what we as Rare fans, like really hardcore Rare fans, have wanted since 1995. It's a full game about Rare pirates, and
Ever since Chad wrote Black Eye's name on a chalkboard.
yes, oh yeah, he did do that, didn't he? Right
he
after
did.
he flunked out of basketball camp.
Hey, we don't talk about that.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, he made up for it in Connect Sports. He got all his skills back.
Has he played Connect Sports?
No, he hasn't. No, I don't know.
I have a feeling. I don't know, because he doesn't have a Connect.
Wait, did anyone play Connect Sports?
Yeah. DK Vine foreign member Rock is big.
Oh,
in Connect
right
Sports.
on.
He's the one who always votes for coach for the DK Vine Hall of Fame.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, great sitcom.
Great sitcom that they tried to bring it back, and then NBC saw the pilot, and they're like, nope.
When Fuller House does better than the Coach reboot, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, where's the Family Matters reboot?
Yeah,
Not reboot, but continuation. Because who wants a reboot? I want to see what.
Where's differenter strokes?
Everybody's dead or in jail.
Oh.
Yeah. The only strokes that are going on are what Willis is getting in his cell.
I want to see a show about Opie where he goes to visit Andy's grave. And he's whistling as he goes.
He's fishing for his bones.
And Barney's buried right next to him as he stated in his will.
And Aunt B and her famous
Aunt B's still
pickles.
alive. Yeah, she's still alive though.
Yeah, and Floyd the barber. They're all dead. Barry's just...
Helen's alive, but she's turned to drugs.
Ron Howard's hair as a tomb too.
Yeah. Right next to Otis's, which is covered in beer bottles.
Oh my god. No, Jim Neighbors is still alive.
Oh. And he is of the gay persuasion.
Well, sure. Yeah, I guess you can
Not
say
that matters.
Not that matters, though. Any
But
anyway, illusions and misconceptions of his heterosexuality have been buried and may bury, but
Shazam!
I think Jim Neighbor should play Captain Marvel in the Shazam movie.
That would be awesome. I thought the Seth Rogen film Neighbors was about Jim Neighbors.
Man,
I
you
was
are a
disappointed.
confused man.
Yeah. I thought Neighbors 2 was Jim Neighbors taking a shit. I don't know.
I like the implication that you went to both Neighbors movies just waiting for Gomer Pyle to show
Yeah.
up, and you're like, it's going to happen.
Come on, Gomer.
Yeah.
But I got a pile, all right. Pile of unfunny shit.
So Captain Black Eye, Black Eye.
Yes. He might be in it.
No, I'm virtually certain he's in it.
Okay.
And I think I look back at that Greg Mails tweet. And I'm like, no, that was basically a confirmation, because you have to understand. Okay, we had a conversation with Greg Mails that day where we harped about Black Eye, and then a couple hours later he changed his Twitter profile picture to this image of Captain Black Eye that looks strangely similar to Sea of Thieves. And I could be completely wrong. It could actually be this unknown art style from Dream we never saw before it took on the more...
It could be Roseanne Barr without her makeup.
It could be. I haven't seen what Roseanne... Didn't she get cosmetic surgery in the 90s so it looked like she was always wearing makeup?
Maybe. All I know is Trump hates her. Oh, wait, no, that's Rosie O'Donnell.
That's Rosie O'Donnell.
I get them
right?
mixed up.
To be fair, the only reason Trump hates her is because since he does have some pretty prehistoric views, he thought she was a terrible Betty Rubble.
Yeah, you see, Trump thought he would have been way better in Harriet the Spy.
He was just a big Nickelodeon fan, and he felt like he should be in Nickelodeon's first major feature film.
He just wanted to be the one in Tarzan singing Shoo-ba-doo, shabba-da, shee-ba-doo.
Wait, was Rosie O'Donnell?
I think she was.
Voice in Tarzan?
I think she was. She was the little monkey that sang with In Sync by banging on pots and pans.
Okay, see, I can't tell if you're making a joke or not.
I'm not, I swear.
As I've established, I have a lot of useless pop culture knowledge rattling about in my head, but
no
unless
Disney.
The Disney character has a sphincter on their face, I don't care.
This is true. I mean, we all know Rosie O'Donnell does in real life, but not in the movie.
Oh, that's just not fair, Nick. That's being cruel. You're judging somebody by their appearance.
I'm a Trump supporter.
The truth comes out.
All right.
The ugly truth. All right. No. And apologies to DK Vine and reader and Kongversation listener Mamechi. Yes,
Is he a Rosie O'Donnell fan or something?
No, he's a Disney fan, and I just admitted that my Disney knowledge is lacking because nobody has butt faces.
Yes. We apologize, Mamechi. We apologize.
Captain Black Eye, Nick. Captain Black Eye.
What more is there to say on Black Eye?
Well, okay, so
he probably is in it. You talked to Greg about it, and then he changed his Twitter avatar.
This was E3 2015, yeah.
Yeah. So let's hope.
So, and then when I was at Rare, I kept dropping Black Eye's name, and everybody was stone faced. So I don't know. Like,
they pulled a juju on you.
Here's the thing: like, there are no legendary pirates in the game, but Black Eye is a Rare creation. He's a Rare IP. We know there are NPCs in the game. And the thing about Black Eye is, I think he could be a terrible pirate. He doesn't have to be a pirate legend. He could be the same drunk we saw in Banjo-Tooie. We know there are taverns in the game. There's lots of taverns apparently in the game. Rare's kind of playing that up right now.
Have him just magically be at each tavern on every island somehow, and like give you info on the island like amidst hiccups.
See, I think it would be more fun if Black Eye was somebody you had to find in the game.
Oh, okay. He's like hidden.
Yeah. And have him be in the game. And I would want Rare to confirm, yes, Black Eye's in the game, but you have to find him. Because
what if he says the same thing about a bear stealing his treasure? So like it confirms that hasn't even happened yet, even this far back in time.
Ooh, that would be cool. Well, I would also maybe want an explanation for why Black Eye is apparently immortal.
Yeah, that too.
And maybe he was like, he found the Fountain of Youth. That's my go-to theory. And that's what's going to be my fan wank if they don't explain it.
Maybe you can find the Fountain of Youth on an island. He's standing there and he's like, out of my way. I get the first dibs.
You know, conquistadors, they were essentially pirates. They raped and pillaged. So, you know, why not? Why not?
Get Don Quixote in there.
Yeah.
Get They Might Be Giants to do the music. Get Terry Gilliam to direct it.
then the game would never come out.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
Captain Black Eye.
So I just want to reiterate to anybody at Rare who's still listening to this mess, if you didn't switch it off after the manatee erotica,
you should have gotten Cameron. Seriously,
I do think that you need to work Captain Black Eye just somewhere in a physical appearance by it has to be a physical appearance by Captain Black Eye. It can't just be Captain Black Eye on a wanted poster or anything like that. Although that would be fine too, just so long as he's actually physically in there somewhere.
I mean, we will boycott the game if he's not in it, but please put him in it.
Yes, we will set ourselves on fire in protest.
Killing in the name of. I don't know.
Anyway, I am virtually certain. I want to say I'm 90% certain he's in the game. I'm leaving 10% of doubt, but
to represent logic and reason.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm trying to hedge my bets here, but
we all want him to be in there. I'm not going to be mad if he's not, but I'll be really happy if he is.
Yeah. I'll be disappointed. It's not going to like affect my enjoyment of the game, but I'll still be disappointed.
You'll deduct 1 point from its score if he's not in it.
Right. But yeah, I'll say this much: I will be overly ecstatic if he's in it, to the point where I will probably get Captain Black Eye's face tattooed over mine.
That's not taking it too far or anything.
No, I think that's perfectly reasonable, and it would keep me employable throughout my entire life.
You'll get a job in the Suicide Squad sequel.
Oh, Nick.
There won't be a sequel.
There's not going to, yes. They called that movie Suicide Squad because that was the fate of everybody who worked on it as far as their careers go.
Well, I think Harley Quinn just signed on for her solo movie, so we got some more pain ahead of us.
I'm keep waiting for the DC extended universe to work out the kinks, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
No, not unless they kill Ray Davies.
Oh, Nick. Could the Kremlins be referenced at all? And,
no. Moving on.
Well, yeah, that basically, yeah. Here's my thing. To anybody holding out hope that Rare would put any crocodilian pirates in the game, the answer is no, that's not going to happen.
But what if... Okay, hopefully, I hope with the treasure, you can like view each individual piece of booty, so to speak, and...
manatee booty.
And like rotate it and zoom in on it and stuff, like an Elder Scrolls game. Third time I've mentioned that series on this podcast. And what if like there's a crown that has like crocodiles on it? You know, like they could do something cool like that.
Yeah, here's the thing. They're not going to be overt about anything because as much as we still hold up the Donkey Kong Country series, you know, and everything they did for it.
No one else does, and it should die a slow death.
Yeah, gamers only, will put up with mediocre gameplay so long as the graphics are good. That's been established.
Yeah, Mario Wiki.
No, my point is, it's been what, 14 years since the buyout?
It's been a while.
It's shut up. It's been what has it been? 7 years? Or no, oh my god, it's been 9 years since Diddy Kong Racing DS.
Yeah.
7 years. It's almost been a decade. It's almost been a decade since Rare's made their last Donkey Kong game. And the last Kremling appearance, right? I mean, they've had to move on. As much as Phil Spencer says, he would like to work with Nintendo, Nintendo seems to be pretty steadfast in their ways. They've moved on. So we're not going to get any overt Kremlin references, but we could get subtle allusions to the Kremlins.
Yeah, it's going to have to be very copyright skirting.
Yeah, I think, even maybe in a tavern, you could have, I don't know, hearsay about, a crew of crocodile pirates or
have
something.
Some pirate named like Crocodile Carl the Cruel or something.
Even that, I think, would be too on the nose. I think there's just there might be little taste of it, because what I'm hoping is that Rare goes out of their way to at least pay homage to every single Rare pirate in their history.
That would be rad. Like have a hippo in there.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit something here or there, because it feels like it's the grand culmination of a journey Rare started way back when. And I really want all of that grand history to be acknowledged. Even the stuff they can't legally refer to, I still want there to be a tip of the hat in the game too. So, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping there's some sort of very, very subtle nod, but I wouldn't go, expecting Crocodile Isle to be in the game, sorry to say. Were the circumstances different? Sure, but...
Did Nintendo own that specific name, you think?
Oh, yeah, they would have to own it. They got everything Donkey Kong.
What if they called an island like Isle of Crocodile?
Well, that wouldn't be canon, Nick. That would be stupid.
Could be a different island.
Yeah, that would just confuse. That would be like having two Donkey Kong enemies called Chomps.
That would never happen.
Yeah, that's just awful.
That'd be like having Donkey Kong Island look different in DK64.
Hey, as we've established, Nick...
It's a representation.
Yes, come on.
Well, my middle finger's a representation of my... No, I'm just kidding.
Speaking of everybody's favorite game, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, as we mentioned earlier, I am still holding out hope that we would see the zombie pirate captain from that game.
Or something similar.
Well, but as a living guy.
Oh.
We mentioned the Pirate Lord, the ghostly figure, and we saw artwork for him when we were at Rare this last May, and this is before they officially revealed him. I guess they revealed him at Comic-Con, but we saw like this guy, and we were like, "Is that the zombie pirate captain?" And no, it's not. I think it's supposed to be a different guy entirely, unless he's like the ghost, and the zombie pirate captain in Ghoulies was the body. But what I would like to see is just this living pirate who is the zombie pirate captain pre-zombie, before he died. Maybe we could even see how he died. I don't know, but it could even be as simple of reference as his body at the bottom of the sea before it was zombified. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, but I like I said, I would want every Rare pirate throughout their history to be at least alluded to in some form or fashion, because like I said, Sea of Thieves is the game I've been waiting for since 1995, and I kind of want I don't know, a little bit of a payoff to that journey. But it's going to be a brilliant game regardless.
Absolutely.
So any other things you want to speculate about, or any final thoughts you have about Sea of Thieves before we put the anchor down for this Talk Like a Pirate Day?
I think we're on the same page pretty much. I mean, I have high hopes, but they're not unrealistic, and I have trust in the company making it, and I love what I see so far. But there is one thing I haven't seen so far that I better see in the final game.
I think we've already established what that is, Nick. Captain
Manatees.
Blackeye. Oh.
This has been a File 2 production.
Que rico.